by Meng, like the first ray of sunlight before dawn, gently leaked out, transforming the void into a world of light. At that moment, in the core of the Undying sacred tome, countless rays of light surged, instantly driving away all other forces. The radiance was sacred and untouchable, as if the goddess of light had descended, purifying countless evils and filth in the world. Shu. At the same time, the figures of Xiao and Xiao appeared, directly revealed by the power of the light. Clearly, Xiao, who had been hiding in the shadow of the Fire Guard ruler, and Xiao, who had concealed himself using shadow element powers, were now completely enveloped by the light, their powers temporarily nullified. The demon guards under the light demon, the black fiend dragon wolf, hiding in the shadows, couldn't help but exclaim. The light demon, a universally recognized ruler of the Great Thousand Worlds, was also one of the top rulers among the extraterritorial evil clans. She commanded an elite force. Demon Guards. The Light Demon Guards were an incredibly powerful army wielding both light and evil powers. It was with this army that the Light Demon's strength was propelled to the level of a ruler of the extraterritorial evil clans, granting her great influence. However, despite her formidable power, she had never caused great calamities in the Great Thousand Worlds, and her movements were erratic, which led to her being underestimated by the experts of the Great Thousand Worlds. The extraterritorial evil clans were highly hierarchical, with the highest level rulers symbolizing the strongest combat power. Among these rulers, subtle differences in power further divided them into 3 levels. The lowest level was the basic ruler level, standing at the pinnacle of the extraterritorial evil clans. Rulers were ranked from high to low, with 3 supreme beings above them: the Black King, the White King, and the Red King, who only existed in legends. In general, there were 3 levels: the basic ruler and the 3 supreme levels beyond them: the Black King, the White King, and the Red King. The demon guards under the Light Demon. How is that possible? The Master of Ferocious Souls set up numerous obstacles around the Ferocious Soul domain to prevent the extraterritorial evil clans from harming us here. How could this? At that moment, Xun'er covered her mouth and nose with her delicate hand, speaking in astonishment. The Ferocious Soul domain was the territory of the Master of Ferocious Souls, filled with experts. The demon guards alone shouldn't have been able to breach the defenses of so many strong individuals. There must be some hidden conspiracy at play. Damn it! It's the demon guards. These are the elite troops of the Light Demon, and it's said that wherever the demon guards go, the Light Demon follows. The Light Demon, a being of the White King level supreme power among the extraterritorial evil clans, comparable to the level of the Master of Ferocious Souls. She's far beyond our ability to handle. Yu Zhao's figure appeared in midair, his gaze filled with shock as he looked at the figure surrounded by countless rays of white light. It seems that because the 4 Great Hall's leaders summoned the Ferocious Soul domain's experts to the Divine Hall, some defenses were neglected, allowing these ants to infiltrate. However, everyone, rest assured, this person should only be the lowest rank among the demon guards. From his aura, he only possesses the peak strength of an early 5-star Do Xian, the same as ours. On the side, Deng Qing spoke with a sharp gaze. He wore white sleeves, black hair, and a rather ordinary appearance, but his face wore a crazed smile, like a true demon hunter. This was the so-called demon guard. Now, this is interesting. Xiao, however, had no concerns, instead feeling a sense of calm within. At first, Xiao had worried that if the experts from the 5 Great Halls teamed up against him, even with his 2 sacred flames, he would pay a heavy price. But now, with the demon guards in play, once the 5 Great Hall's experts confronted them, Xiao could completely hide his full strength, preserving his power and greatly increasing his chances of obtaining the Undying Fire. Ha ha ha. The strength of the demon guards is indeed as famous as they say, but you forgot. This is the Ferocious Soul domain, not a place where your extraterritorial evil clans can act as you wish. In the name of the Judgment Hall Disciple, I issue the judgment order to annihilate you. My Ferocious Soul domain's sacred land is not a place you pests can invade. As he spoke, Deng Qing's lips curled into a smile, and a golden token appeared in his hand, radiating with the authority of a supreme ruler. Judgment order? Once the judgment order is issued, no one dares to disobey. The judgment order is exclusive to the judgment hall. Once it is issued, all members of the ferocious soul domain must obey the orders of the issuer. The judgment order also has different ranks. This golden judgment order is clearly the lowest rank. The three major judgment orders are as follows. The golden judgment order can mobilize all powerhouses below 6-star Docian. The purple judgment order can mobilize all powerhouses below 7-star Docian. The red judgment order can mobilize the entire ferocious soul domain. Everyone, join me in slaying this distraction. We will discuss the undying fire later. The golden judgment order flashed and vanished as Deng Qing spoke again. Damn! The other powerhouses trembled upon hearing this and could only reluctantly shake their heads. The shock of the golden judgment order made them temporarily put aside their internal disputes. After all, the sectarian differences between individuals were nothing compared to the extraterritorial evil clans that were like parasites. Attack! As soon as the words were spoken, the Soul Hall's Xun'er, the Earth Spirit Hall's 7 members, and various strong warriors from the Judgment Hall and the Tribunal Hall all erupted in radiant Do-Chi beams, launching a terrifying offensive aimed directly at the demon guards. My lord, these warriors are formidable, the man in black who had been standing quietly nearby remarked. This individual was none other than Mu Wushuang, who had previously captured little Zhuoma, though Zhuoma's whereabouts were now unknown. I know. How much longer? The true form of the demon guard, observing the intense attacks from everyone, his eyes flickering with a strange fluctuation, quickly asked, My lord, no more than 3 minutes. We can break through here completely, and the undying fire will be ours. The 3 figures in black robes continued to channel mysterious energy into the towering ancient tree. However, they spoke with some exhaustion. 3 minutes. Mu Wushuang, prepare yourself. If you fail this time, and the master is displeased, I fear even I will not be able to save you. The demon guard said meaningfully. My lord, I understand. Mu Wushuang in black robes immediately trembled upon hearing this. He had heard that although the light demon was a woman, her power was vast, and her torturous methods were infamous. The demon guards. I hope you don't disappoint me. Xiao licked his lips and began preparing an attack aimed at the demon guard. However, with his current strength being only that of a mid-4-star Docian, and without using his full power, he was no more than a bystander. But the next moment, the demon guard and other powerful warriors from the 5 major halls gathered their radiant attacks into a single, unified blast. At that moment, the world itself seemed to lose its color. Boom! The terrifying offensive from the many warriors roared like endless darkness toward the demon guard. The attack's intensity was so great that even a mid-5-star Docian powerhouse would not dare to face it head-on. However, because there were so many warriors, some of them, holding onto a lucky mindset, did not go all out, and instead tried to take advantage of the chaos. Despite such a large-scale battle between Docian-level powerhouses, the demon guard was left with only one path to defeat. Yet, with the undying fire so close, this scene unfolded. Little did they know, it was this greedy fluctuation that almost led to their complete annihilation. A violent energy ripple surged, and the endless light in this space instantly shattered, only to restore itself once more. The void did not tremble from such intense energy fluctuations. Instead, it became even more solid. Whoosh, whoosh. Once the residual waves dispersed, a ring of milky white energy chains appeared around the demon guard, shielding him and the area behind him. The milky white chains, like supreme dominion, easily resisted the combined forces of everyone's attack with an overwhelming aura. The demon guard's face, however, wore a strange smile. If these people had used their full strength and put aside their sectarian disputes to destroy him, he truly might have fallen. But unfortunately, in their desire to conserve strength for the undying fire, their joint attack was simply too weak. This guy is actually human, the others remarked after the attack, retreating and forming a combined defense around the demon guard. Xiao furrowed his brow. Among the demon guards, most are human, Xun'er said, her breath fluctuating. Then does this mean the light demon is? Xiao Yan's confusion grew. It seemed that the light demon's true identity was incredibly mysterious, and Xiao Yan couldn't shake the feeling that the light demon was not as simple as she appeared. To think that the proud elites of the 5 major halls have this little strength? Isn't this a bit childish? Ha ha ha. The demon guard stood at a high vantage point, surrounded by milky white chains. The man's strength is overwhelming, and his light attribute power. The 5 members of the 5-sect alliance had grim expressions. They had originally planned to take advantage of the chaos, but now, seeing the increasingly powerful demon guard, they couldn't help but feel regret. Xiao, it's time to take action, Deng Qing said with a serious face after a brief hesitation. At this point, it seemed that only the 2 strongest individuals from the 5 great halls could have a chance at eliminating him. Damn. These methods were originally meant for the Undying fire, but now it seems we'll have to deal with the demon guard first. Xiao nodded solemnly. He knew that if they didn't defeat the demon guard and stop the awakening of the ancient tree's power, they would have no chance with the Undying fire. Step back. Deng Qing sneered, his body enveloped in a thunderous power, standing tall like an invincible thunder war god. His aura was overwhelming. Shadow. Deng Qing sneered again, as dark shadow energy transformed into black flames, wrapping around his body. Are you really going all out? The demon guard sneered, feeling the terrifying energy from the 5 great halls, Judgment Hall and Decision Hall, before letting out a long, wild roar. Boom! At the same time, a more pure, holy milky white glow emerged around the demon guard. Moments later, under the gaze of everyone, it turned into a sharp, palm-sized, milky white nail. The nail was completely snow white, exuding an aura of sacredness that no one could defy. Under this aura, many powerful individuals felt a vague sense of unease in their hearts. Hand of Judgment. With a loud roar, Deng Qing's palm extended outward, and in an instant, a massive, thunderous hand materialized, streaking across the sky. Silver lightning covered it, and countless subtle patterns emitted a faint, concealed fluctuation, amplifying its overwhelming power. It seemed that with a single strike, the world could be destroyed. Scythe of Judgment. On the other side, Xiao's pupils narrowed as black flames erupted from his body. In the blink of an eye, a massive black scythe, enveloped in endless black flames, appeared in his hand. The black scythe seemed almost ethereal, but the power within it stirred the hearts of everyone present. These 2, they're hiding their strength so well? Xun'er from the Soul Hall couldn't help but gasp when she saw the 3 powerful moves before her. What's going on? The fluctuations from these 2 aren't something their level of strength should be able to produce, Xiao Yan said, his gaze fixed in confusion. Hand of Judgment. This is one of the most powerful sealing Do skills from the Judgment Hall. Its power is terrifying. With it, even a strong opponent of the same rank can be easily sealed. The Scythe of Judgment is even more powerful. It's an immortal artifact, one of the highest-ranked treasures on the Celestial Artifact rankings. It's stored in the Decision Hall, controlled by the strongest, and disciples who have cultivated to the peak can momentarily manifest a shadow of the Scythe of Judgment to restrain their enemies, Xun'er explained. These 2 are indeed formidable. But they're probably no match for this guy, Xiao Yan said, initially startled but soon shaking his head. With his immense soul power and mastery over sacred flame, Xiao Yan could clearly sense the malevolent and terrifying force emanating from the demon guard. It seemed that the demon guard hadn't even used his full strength yet. My lord, that guy possesses sacred flame. Just as the 3 were preparing to unleash their terrifying attacks, the black-robed Mu Wushuang suddenly pointed at Xiao Yan and spoke. Sacred flame. He won't escape, the demon guard said indifferently, glancing at Xiao Yan. But just that brief glance made Xiao Yan tremble as if falling into an abyss. Die, demon guard. Deng Qing and Xiao roared in unison, their powerful attacks surging forward. Come on, the demon guard said with a smirk, his lips barely moving. Boom. As his words faded, the light sacred nail, surrounded by a blinding white radiance, shot toward the two. Suppress him. Deng Qing and Xiao exchanged a glance, their dazzling attacks immediately pushing forward. For a moment, the undying sacred tome was engulfed in a whirlwind of destruction, and the energy waves of annihilation rang out non-stop. Even after such a long time, the three black-robed figures had already slowly begun drawing upon the power of the ancient tree's branches, releasing an even more dangerous aura that was about to emerge. Whoosh! Boundless Doqi energy turned into a storm of destruction, writhing wildly. Wherever the storm passed, nothing survived, leaving the void even more desolate. Has the outcome been decided? After a long while, the battle fog dissipated, and three figures slowly emerged from the remnants of the battle. Impossible, not a scratch? Looking at the unruly smile and tone of the demon guards, the powerful figures present were all filled with astonishment. This guy's aura of light is so overwhelmingly powerful, it counters us in numerous ways. If this goes on, it's not going to work, Deng Qing, at the front of the group, said, his sharp eyes fixed on the demon guard. The previous attack had combined nearly half of their strength, yet such a terrifying strike had left him completely unharmed, which shook his heart. What should we do now? Xiao asked coldly, his gaze equally grim. The strength of the demon guard far exceeded their expectations. By the way, why haven't we seen any disciples from the Elder Council? For a moment, it seemed as if something had suddenly dawned on them, and they couldn't help but speak up. The disciples of the Elder Council, while not the strongest, wielded some unexpected and powerful techniques. Ha ha ha. A bunch of ants. Accept your judgment and punishment. Spirit of the ancient tree, come forth. A moment later, a surge of light energy erupted from the demon guard's palm, which then shot forth as a ray toward the intricate patterns on the ancient tree, seemingly attempting to draw out some creature residing within. Rise. The three other black-robed figures saw this and coldly snorted in unison. For beams of milky white energy shot forward, adding to the powerful force that caused the ancient tree to tremble violently. The green vines that wrapped around the five-finger mountain exploded with intense shockwaves, creating a terrifying scene. This is bad. Stop them. At that moment, a sense of dread surged in Yuer's heart. She didn't know what kind of formidable power was hidden within the ancient tree, but she knew very well that if these forces were fully awakened, their only fate would be death. Upon hearing this, the others' pupils contracted, and they looked up, feeling an oppressive aura spreading once again. It's too late. Boom. A ripple of energy spread out like a tidal wave, followed by a shockwave that seemed to penetrate time and space. Roar. Then, a deafening roar rang out, fully revealing what was coming. This is the tree spirit? Seeing the strange creature that had fallen from the ancient tree, the powerful figures couldn't help but frown. It was a small beast, quite adorable, with soft gray feathers all over its body, no bigger than a human's head. Its appearance was similar to that of a kitten or a puppy, but its belly and feet were adorned with intricate, sinister patterns, and from beneath its gray fur, wisps of gray flame danced like sprites. The spirit of the ancient tree, it was we who awakened you. So, kill them. After a moment, the demon guard looked at the small beast and said with a smile. The demon guard's power far exceeded that of other experts at the same level, and with both evil and light attributes, their strength was even more formidable. If it weren't for the fear that using their full strength would attract the attention of the higher-ups in the ferocious soul domain, they would have long ago used everything they had to eliminate their enemies. But calling upon the spirit of the ancient tree was also to obtain the undying fire. In the end, Xiao Yin and the others were merely ants to be swept away. Roar. The small beast was initially cute and harmless, but after a moment, its gaze focused on Mu Wushuang, the black-robed figure beside the demon guard. Its eyes began to move, as if deep in thought. This guy seems to have a similar aura to little Zhuama? Xiaoyan thought, his confusion growing. The small beast clearly emanated a terrifying, ancient aura, and its current form was startling. Sniff, sniff. Just as the others were puzzled, the small beast seemed to catch a scent, and suddenly darted toward Mu Wushuang, its presence exuding an intense killing intent. Do not underestimate this small beast. Its speed and destructive power were such that even a typical early-stage 5-star Do Xian would not have been able to match it. Bastard! What are you doing? Mu Wushuang cursed as the pressure on him increased and his speed surged. Roar! The small beast, still relentless, chased after him, its eyes full of resentment, as if Mu Wushuang had stolen something the little creature treasured. Attack! Stop them! I'll handle the little beast. Xiao Yin, surrounded by flames, snorted coldly at the others behind him, then shot forward, his figure expanding rapidly as he pursued the small beast. Attack! At the same time, the other powerful figures transformed into streaks of light, engaging the 4 demon guards. This time, there was no holding back. It was a true battle to the death, for they knew that if the 4 demon guards succeeded, the undying fire would forever be out of their reach. This guy has something within him, the spirit of sacred flame. I guess I was right, muttered Mu Wushuang as he fled, a hint of cunning slipping from beneath his black robes. This aura was unmistakably similar to that of the young master of the Elder Council, though it disappeared almost immediately. Damn it! Mu Wushuang kept moving, but he realized that no matter how he moved, the little beast kept chasing him relentlessly. Moreover, the attacks released by the creature became stronger with each wave. Ugh! A tender voice, seemingly affected by some kind of aura, emerged from beneath the black robe. Hoo! Hearing the voice, the little beast grew even angrier, its aura turning sharp as it bared its claws and roared toward Mu Wushuang. This beast is actually connected to this little girl. It seems I must hurry. As soon as the words left his mouth, the petite figure beneath the black robe hit again, and Mu Wushuang's Do Qi surged violently. To think someone from the mighty Ghost King realm would be willing to serve as a demon guard. If this gets out, it would surely. After a moment, Xiao Yan's voice echoed in Mu Wushuang's ear. Clearly, at this point, Xiao Yan and the little beast were on the same side. Russell, you don't understand anything. Ghost mist. Mu Wushuang's black robe shot out a blood-red glow, completely enveloping him. A wave of unsettling energy spread out. Roar! The little beast continued its relentless pursuit, reaching out with its furry paw to claw at the blood glow. Crack! A sound was heard, something breaking within the blood-red glow, and in the blink of an eye, Xiao Zhuoma's figure was pulled out of the glow by the little beast. The mist that had transformed from Mu Wushuang weakened. Ah! With the cry, and Xiao Zhuoma's departure, Mu Wushuang's deafening roar echoed from within the blood mist. This time, I will make you all pay. With my blood, with my soul. Spirit sacrifice path. Welcome, soul sovereign. Boom! The moment the words were spoken, the blood mist shook uncontrollably, turning into a dark path connecting to the void above. At the end of the path, a powerful presence seemed to be gazing down at them. What is this? Xiao Yin quickly flew away, immediately enveloping himself, the little beast, and the unconscious Xiao Zhuoma in a strong flame. The little beast, like a porcelain doll, desperately protected Xiao Zhuoma. Occasionally glancing at Xiao Yin, sensing that he meant no harm, the little beast finally relaxed. However, its serious expression made it clear that it held some secret connection to Xiao Zhuoma. Gurgle. As Mu Wushuang's voice faded, his soul and all his power exploded in this void. Waves of black mist spread out, converging into a dark blood path. On the blood path, a cold, eerie aura permeated, as if awaiting the return of some mighty figure. Mu Wushuang, you've done well. Now, leave the rest to me. After it's done, you will be well rewarded. A chilling voice emerged from the end of the blood path, formed by the black, ghostly mist. At the same time, a shadowy figure appeared at the end of the blood path. The moment the figure appeared, an oppressive presence filled everyone's hearts. 6-star Do Xian? Xiao Yin frowned tightly, clearly shocked by the figure's strength. After all, the Undying sacred tome could only accommodate up to early 5-star Do Xian power. How could someone with 6-star Do Xian strength enter? No, this guy isn't the real body, just a fragment of his essence. This must be a special technique from the Soul Hall. Xun'er shook her head. You know? Xiao asked. I know a bit, Xun'er replied. Whoosh! With a sound, the eerie figure collapsed in mid-air and directly entered the space. Really quite the delicious aroma, sacred flame, the figure said wickedly as soon as he arrived. Thank you, for soul sovereigns. The last trace of Mu Wushuang's essence transformed into a shooting star and entered the figure's body. This is the interior of the Undying fire. Strong beings above early 5-star Do Xian cannot enter, but we still must thank the 4 demon guards. Without your leadership, the strong members of the Soul Hall could never enter here, let alone use the Soul Scroll to bring a fragment of my essence here. Russell. The newly arrived figure was also cloaked in a black robe, but this figure appeared very ethereal, radiating an unexplainable fear. Soul Scroll, really willing to part with it, AI Xun'er remarked, shaking her head. Soul Scrolls were extremely precious space scrolls, and only those with outstanding power could use them. Soul Hall's 4 soul sovereigns. Xiao muttered. The so-called 12 soul lords of the Soul Hall are not distinguished by their strength alone. Rather, they hold certain positions or command special powers within the Soul Hall, granted only to those who possess a certain level of strength. The 12 Soul Lords are ranked by both power and status, with the Grand Soul Lord being the most powerful and influential, and the 4 Soul Lords undoubtedly hold an extremely terrifying position within the Soul Hall. Just some insignificant ants. It's better if they all perish together. The 4 demon guards shrugged and smiled, clearly seeing the 4 Soul Lords as nothing more than a child's game. Of the 4 demon guards, 3 were at the early stage of 5-star Do Xian, and the leader, who had just stepped forward, was even above them, a step away from reaching the mid-stage of 5-star Do Xian. Ha ha ha. The demon guard's strength is extraordinary, but this undying fire will not be easily handed over to you. Moreover, the stronger members of your demon guards are not here. You 4 guards want to challenge me? It's just unrealistic. The 4 soul lords smiled faintly. Sharp-tongued. The 4 demon guards snorted coldly. So, Soul Path, Skylock. In the next moment, without hesitation, the 4 soul lords' bodies were engulfed in strange power, transforming into a blood-red path. A huge black chain, eroding the mind, slowly emerged along the blood path. Just some wandering souls and ghosts, small tricks. Morning light of the sun, ripple flash. The leading demon guard sneered, unfazed. A bright aura once again surrounded him. At this sudden scene, the experts from the other 4 great halls were stunned. Clearly, they had no idea about the current situation between the demon guards and the Soul Hall. Is that so? Die. Soul Lock. Seeing the situation, the 4 soul lords' hearts erupted with intense heat, roaring out. Boom. In an instant, the 4 demon guards were restrained by a single soul lord. Is this girl all right? Taking advantage of the chaotic aftermath of the battle, AI Xun'er gently approached the little beast, seemingly trying to wake up little Zhuoma, but the little beast stared at her with great caution, clearly uncomfortable. She should be fine, but I don't know what Mu Wushuang did to her. She's been unconscious ever since. Xiao said vaguely, his gaze fixated on the eerie shadow inside the 5 Fingers Mountain. Something there seemed to be calling to him, and the source of this fluctuation was unmistakably the Undying Leaf and the Undying Netherworld Sparrow. Be careful. Xiao gaze became intense as he spoke. The situation had become a mess, but Xiao possessed several treasures. In this chaotic moment, he could enter the 5 Fingers Mountain's formation and search for the Undying Fire. Such an opportunity was fleeting. Too dangerous. After a moment, seeing Xiao resolute expression, AI Xun'er said with concern, Don't worry, trust me. Xiao was fearless, smiling at her. He understood that the Undying Fire was dangerous, but if he obtained it, the boost to his strength would far exceed expectations. It was worth the risk. Xiao, let's go. I'll assist you. Soon, AI Xun'er's gaze softened, and she smiled slowly. Thank you. Xiao Yin cupped his fists in gratitude, and with a burst of energy, he shot towards the Five Fingers Mountain. Not good. Xiao Yin is trying to get there first. Stop him. Seeing Xiao Yan's movement, the other experts immediately roared in fury. Boom. Lightning-fast attacks shot towards Xiao Yin one after another. Water Curtain Heaven Flower. A tender voice echoed from mid-air, followed by a massive water curtain, 100 feet tall, which effortlessly dispelled the attacks. AI Xun'er's aura weakened significantly, clearly having exhausted nearly 90% of her Do Qi with this level of Do skill. Xiao Yin, I hope what my teacher said is true. You will be the savior of this great world. As she spoke, AI Xun'er's energy flickered, and just as the others attempted to strike her down, her body became ethereal and faded away, leaving the Undying sacred tome. No one noticed, but the little beast and little Xun'er also entered the Five Fingers Mountains formation with Xiao Yin. Damn! Seeing this, not only were the 4 demon guards stunned, but the 4 soul lords and all the other experts present were equally shocked. Their actions had simply served as a distraction, causing them deep frustration. They immediately sought to kill Xiao Yin once and for all. Let's go. The others exchanged glances, no longer concerned with personal grudges. They headed straight for the Five Fingers Mountain formation, leaving AI Xun'er behind. With the treasures given to her by her teacher, leaving was easy. Boom. Xiao Yin moved with incredible speed, directly stepping into the Five Finger Mountain formation ahead of the crowd. Although many powerful figures were chasing him from behind, Xiao Yin showed no fear. Such strange power, Xiao Yin muttered as he entered the formation. Immediately, he felt a wave of disbelief. 5 massive stone pillars stood before him, and as he entered, they began to shift rapidly, temporarily trapping his figure on one side. Roar, roar, roar. Just as Xiao Yin was pondering how to bypass the 5 swiftly moving stone pillars, a faint growl came from behind him. It was the mysterious little beast, seemingly trying to alert him to something. Little one. Little Xun'er. Xiao Yin turned and saw the mysterious little beast lying quietly with little Xun'er resting on its back, breathing heavily as if in a deep slumber. There didn't seem to be any serious harm, though. Do you mean to send her over? Xiao Yin asked, just as the little beast let out a desperate growl. It looked toward the base of the moving stone pillars and urged in a hurried tone. The 5 stone pillars were moving swiftly and quickly enveloped the shadowy space beneath them, blocking Xiao Yan's way. However, Xiao Yin could sense that this dark space contained a powerful magical force, one that seemed to resonate with the treasures within his own body. Xiao Yin. Stop right there. Just as Xiao Yin hesitated, dozens of strong figures poured in from behind, roaring at him. Roar. Seeing this, the mysterious little beast's eyes brightened, and it let out another roar. I'll trust you this time. Xiao Yin, making a swift decision, immediately scooped up the little beast and little Xun'er. Then, with a burst of strength from both his arms and legs, he hurled them towards the base of the formation. This is bad. Stop him. Watching Xiao Yan's strange actions, the 4 demon guards suddenly sensed something and were startled. A holy white aura emanated from their bodies as they shot toward Xiao Yin. Hemph! 4 fingers of the firmament. Xiao Yin, unfazed, unleashed all his strength and lightly pointed at the 4 demon guards. Boom! A fire beam, over 100 feet long, erupted with ease, setting the void alight and sending waves of scorching, dry heat in all directions. You little brat, how is your fire attribute power so strong? The 4 demon guards, closest to Xiao Yin, took the full brunt of his attack. Light wall. One of the demon guards, realizing the power of Xiao Yan's attack, quickly raised his hand and formed a milky white light shield to protect all 4 of them. The demon guards were indeed powerful, but Xiao Yan's attack was just to buy time, and he succeeded in doing so. Go, little one. Xiao Yin glanced once more at the mysterious little beast and little Xun'er. For some reason, he felt a strange sense of connection between them. What is this guy even doing? The other powerful figures, still processing Xiao Yan's brief confrontation with the demon guards, were suddenly stunned as the 5 massive stone pillars surged up from beneath their feet, roaring towards them. Boom! The stone pillars, seemingly simple, carried with them a terrifying, mysterious force, as though touching them would turn one's body to dust. The power within these pillars was beyond what their strength could withstand. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As Xiao Yin tossed the little beast and little Xun'er toward the five-finger mountain formation, something strange happened. Plop! Just as the stone pillars were about to crush the two small figures, it was obvious they would be reduced to pulp. But in the next instant, everyone heard a faint plop, and the two of them transformed into a wisp of gray flame, passing through the stone pillars and vanishing into the base of the formation. A deathly silence filled the air. Bastard! Look what you've done. Prepare to die. You carry a trace of sacred flame, so when I capture you, it'll make up for my losses. The powerful figures were instantly enraged upon seeing the mysterious little beast and little Xun'er disappear. The four demon guards immediately surrounded Xiao Yin from all sides, their bodies radiating milky white divine energy, as if they had already prepared for this moment. What should we do now? The other powerful figures, seeing the situation, felt their hearts tighten. Make your move. I don't believe this. We'll crack the formation, and then the undying fire will be ours. With that, the strongmen from the other four halls joined forces to try to break the five-finger mountain formation. So ruthless? Xiao Yin, seeing the four demon guards surround him, blocking all his escape routes, couldn't help but swallow nervously, struggling to speak. Now in the mid-stage of 4-star Do Xian, facing four early-stage 5-star Do Xian experts, this battle was probably a death sentence. Kid, surrender now and hand over the source of your sacred flame. If you do, we may spare your life. The strongest of the four, the demon guard, spoke, his gaze fixed on Xiao Yin, who remained motionless. Four demon guards at the early 5-star Do Xian stage? Seems like you actually think highly of me. But to think you can restrain me with just that, it's not enough. As soon as his words fell, Xiao Yan's body erupted with a fiery red scarlet flame and the earthy fireheart heavenly rock, their combined power turning his aura into something akin to that of a flame king. The sacred flame ranked 35 on the sacred flame list, and fireheart heavenly rock, huh? But do you recognize this? Seeing Xiao Yan's fierce resistance, the demon guard leader showed no sign of displeasure. Instead, a crafty smile curled at the corners of his mouth, and in his palm, a small, pure white orb began to form, radiating an eerie light. The white orb, no larger than a fist, was enveloped in a glow that concealed its true nature. But as it trembled, it emitted a mysterious energy, almost like a human heart. For most, this energy would feel ordinary, but for Xiao Yin, it carried a crushing, destructive force. Glub, glub. Xiao Yan's pupils constricted tightly at the sight, and he gasped. What is that thing? As the orb appeared, Xiao Yin could feel his flame mantra within him reacting, releasing a sense of dread. Even his two sacred flames and the sacred flame heart on his chest trembled with fear. This thing, it must be specially designed to counter the sacred flame. Could this be the so-called sacred flame nemesis?